3, 2, 1. Well, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's your good friend Billy Bob. I'm back again. I know I took a little bit of hiatus. But I'm back. Back here. YouTube #1 live streamer. Please subscribe. Please click like. Welcome to the live stream. And, it's a new month. We're starting off a new month here. No, it took a little while, took a day or two for, the Team Monroe Mann to get back on the horse. And I was raring to go. But Monroe was not feeling it. And Monroe just kept everybody off. Don't know why that happened. But now, Billy Bob is back on the saddle. And Billy Bob is very proud to be the very first live stream of the month on the Monroe Mann channel. Billy Bob is the #1 live stream host on the channel. So we have a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today. So we'll talk a little bit about Trudeau in Canada. Talk a little bit about Hunter Biden and what happened with that pardon. Talk a little bit more about Israel. Now, when I say Israel, I'm not talking about Gargamel's little kitty from the Smurfs. That's Azrael. And I'm not talking about Azrael. I'm talking about Israel. Israel, that's a country in the Middle East. As you know, that means it's like the middle of the East. Doesn't even make much sense. It's the middle of the East. It's either in the East or it ain't. So that's very, very concerning to me. Why they call it the Middle East? Why isn't it the, Upper East or the Northern East or the Western East? No, it's the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Middle East. So, all right, let's first talk, since we're talking about the Middle East, let's talk about Israel. And then what's going on there with the our good friends Hamas, who still got a lot of hostages here. They got so many hostages there, and Donald Trump, let me tell you, Donald Trump, he represents America. He posted on Truth Social today. What's up, new people? Welcome, my name's Billy Bob. Good to have you here. Are submarines real? Oh, they are very real. America's got lots of submarines. America's got the #1 submarines in the world, ladies and gentlemen. 100%. 100%. What's up, Eli Sanchez? In the house. Well, Donald Trump said, hey, Hamas, if you don't release those hostages before January 20th, when I take office, he goes, you guys are going to be in a world of hurt. A world of hurt courtesy of America. America. And I tell you, this reminds me of when Iran had a lot of hostages. And when Ronald Reagan won the election right before he took office, boom, they were all released as well. Donald Trump is Ronald Reagan reincarnated. Donald Trump is Mr. Reagan back again, amplified, powerfied, and superfied. How you doing, Schumacher? How you doing, Gordon Ramsay? What am I waffling about? Well, I'll tell you, I was at International House of Pancakes recently. I had some delicious pancakes. Now, that's not waffling. I get it. That's pancakes, not a waffle, but it's very, very similar. That's right. Where's the A in your hat? We don't need it. We don't need the hat. We got an apostrophe there. It's America. America. Very simple. America. One syllable. America. Gordon Ramsay says, lovely jubilee. Bert Costa says, do you like Mexico? Are you telling me or are you asking me? If you're asking me, you need to use proper punctuation. You need to put a question mark at the end. Let's see, my voice sounds like George W. Bush? Oh, man, no, let me tell you this. His voice sounds like me. My name is Billy Bob. I created that voice. And there are a lot of politicians that want to sound authentic. They want to sound like they really understand America. So they try to sound like me. Well, they don't sound like me. They don't sound like me. No one sounds like Billy Bob. I am number one. I am number one. Am I drunk? I'm drunk on one thing. America. America. Number one. I'll tell you this, guys. We just started off this year, this month here. Here's the Super Board. Last month, we got $447. The top so far, $520. We just started the month here, so these are all free. These are free slots for any of you who want to support America. If you support America, I'll support you. That's how it is. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Do I drink some Bud Ice? Bud Ice. Let's see. What's up, Google? Oh, Google's in the house. Google himself. How's it? Nice to see you. Let's see. George has a fake accent. Notice Jeb had no accent. Oh, Bruce, I totally see. Now, I spoke to both of those Bush boys. And I said, guys, you got to be yourself. Neither of them chose to follow my advice. What'd they do? George W. decided to try to impersonate Billy Bob. That didn't work. And Jeb tried to be like a mama's boy. That didn't work. Bad news. Bad news. You got to be yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That is my advice to each of you. You got to be yourself. Let me say, oh yeah, Eli, I like America too. That's what I stand for. America. Intelligence says Google shows up in your campaign. Is that true? Deborah says, have you ever been in the military? Of course I've been in the military. I've supported the military. Hey, Jamie, nice to see you. Jamie's kicking off the month. Look at that. Didn't expect to see Miss Jamie here at so late an hour. It's quite late. It's late, let me tell you. Let's put Miss Jamie up here, number one. We got number one Jamie here. Jamie's number one. We got $4.99 right there. She's supporting America. Now that is a great American right there. Miss Jamie. Miss Jamie is a great American. She is a great American. And thank you, Jamie, for kicking off the month's festivities. Look at that. Billy Bob is officially an actual professional live streamer. Let's see. Cash Day Zomer says, can you say, ladies and gentlemen, we got them? Why would I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, we got them? That don't make any sense. Why would I say that, Cash Days? Quasimodo, what? No, wow. There's only one thing I'm about to whip. And I'm going to whip any anti-American forces. Any anti-American forces, I am going to whip. What just happened there? Mr. Pickley? Mr. Pickley? Well, look at that. Thank you for your service. Well, my pleasure. I'm going to stand up and give you a salute. How you doing, Mr. Pickley? You're on the wall here. You're number two. You are number two, and we're going to put you in blue over here. We're going to grab a blue little pen. Look at that blue pen. We're going to do number two for Mr. Pickley. Mr. Pickley, I love you. Mr. Pickley, I need you. Look at that. Look at that. We had $50 in memberships. By the way, thank you, Jamie, for being part of the $50 of the memberships. But now we only got $24. We're already getting close to goal number one at $200. Hot diggity dog. I thank you very much, Mr. Pickley. I think, Mr. Pickley, it's the first time I've seen you here. And I got to tell you, I like saying your name, Mr. Pickley. Let's see, Mr. Pickley. Has Mr. Pickley been here before? No, it looks like it's the very first time. It's the very first time for Mr. Pickley here on the live stream. I thank you. Jamie thanks you. Most importantly, America thanks you. Let's see. Michael Glenn Stagel King. Do I have a real job? If what do I do, sir? Well, my name is Billy Bob. I'm a live streamer here on the Monroe Mann channel. Now, I'm primarily a YouTube live streamer, but I also am an internationally recognized gator wrestler and wrangler. And I have one of the most impressive gator wrangling farms up in Louisiana. So I do that. I do some YouTubing. I'm also a political advisor to many world leaders. I advise Netanyahu. I advised Angela Merkel. I used to advise, Mitterrand in France. I'm quite. I don't like to brag, but I'm quite the thing on the scene. When things go down, Billy Bob goes in, solves the problem. What I'm saying. Now, you might be wondering about Monroe Mann. He's the guy who created this channel. He's also a YouTube live streamer. He does some music. He's a lawyer and a former veteran, United States military, Iraq veteran. And that's where I met Monroe, was in Iraq. How you doing, Jesse Pinkman? Jesse Pinkman, it's very rare to see you on a late night stream. Usually you're an early birdie. Now you're a lady matey. Great to see you here. Michael says, do I work a full-time job, sir, or do I just stream? Well, I'll tell you, we got lots of different characters here on this channel. The channel makes about $450, $550 per year, per month. So it's just a part-time job right now, but we're moving. We're trying to increase the momentum of it. And with great fans like you, if you subscribe, if you become part of the effort, then guess what? Maybe we become professional. Maybe we become 100% full-time. That's right, Jamie. Thank you, Mr. Pickley. And Jesse is also welcoming Mr. Pickley. Michael's asking about the military. Well, I can talk about my friend Monroe. He was in the 42nd Infantry Division. He was an intelligence officer. He was in for about 8.5 years, from 1999 to 2008. Let's see. Well, Ada Balak, I don't know what you're talking about there, because it's not Netanyahu who is doing what you're saying. It's Hamas. Hamas is the terrorist organization that's causing lots of problems, and Hamas is the one who's holding hostages. Last I checked, Netanyahu and Israel is not holding hostages. Right now, American hostages are in Palestine being held by Hamas. They are naughty, naughty people, and they need to be handled appropriately. Let's see. Carl's saying, what's with the accent? Oh, Carl, so you don't know. Well, you're confusing me with Monroe Mann, the guy who started the channel. My name is Billy Bob, and I represent America. America. Oh, yeah. But it's great to have you here, Carl. Monroe's told me lots about you. He told me that you're from India. Great friend of America. Great friend of America. I'm telling you that right now. Michael says, that's awesome. Thank you. And I say thank you to your brother for being an Army Ranger. Very difficult being an Army Ranger. Jesse says it's Billy Bob. That's right, Jesse. Carl says vote for Billy Bob. Always vote for Billy Bob. I remember here, like there. Did you vote? I am election ready. Miami-Dade County. Billy Bob voted. Billy Bob is partly responsible for Donald Trump taking office. Very impressive. Very impressive. Jesse says, my pronouns are you, S, and I. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. What other pronouns do you need but a you, an S, and an I? By the way, Jesse, are you feeling sick? I'm not doing so well because I'm sick. Okay. Well, Billy Bob will make you feel better. Billy Bob will put a smile on your face. Billy Bob will put a pep in your step. Billy Bob will give you the energy that you need to support America. Because without energy, you can't support America. And if you don't support America, what good are you, Jesse? We need you to be supporting America. We need you to be putting your best step forward to help us with the cause. Let me see what else we got going. Oh, so now let's switch gears. We were talking about Israel here, and I think that's funny. I guarantee you those hostages are going to get released before January 20th, because if not, Donald Trump's going to rain terror down on those people holding those hostages. Now, I think it's also funny here that Donald Trump said to Canada and Mexico, if you guys don't halt the illegal border crossings and stop the illegal drugs from coming into the United States, 25% tariffs on each of your countries. How funny. How funny. What happened? Guess what? President of Mexico said, I'm going to talk to Donald Trump, and she did. And she's now taking charge of that and going to solve that problem. But very funny today. So Trudeau from Canada, he flew all the way down to the United States, to Florida, to visit Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. That's just about an hour from here. Just an hour from where Billy Bob is right now. There was a meeting between Trudeau and Trump, the double T's. The double T's, as I like to call them. Well, Trudeau said, this is a very funny story I'm about to tell you. All true story. All true story. Trudeau said, but Donald, you can't put 25% tariffs on Canada because that'll destroy our economy. It'll destroy our economy. And what did Donald Trump say? Well, if that's the case, maybe you should just become the 51st state of the United States of America. And everybody apparently at the table had a nervous laugh, and that was pretty funny because they realized it's true. And then someone else said, well, yep, Donald, you might want to wait a little bit because it would be a very Democrat state. It'd be a very liberal state. Donald says, you know what? We can split it in half. We can have two states. We can have a conservative state and a liberal state. And so I want to, on behalf of the Trump administration, I would like to welcome all Canadians, including you, V. You are welcome to become an American. Here's your opportunity. You guys should petition to the Parliament in Canada and say, we would like to accept Donald Trump's invitation to become the 51st state of the Union. Wouldn't that be great? I wonder, imagine that. Imagine Canada becomes the 51st or 51st and 52nd state. First of all, that would be the biggest land grab of the United States, I think, in its history, even bigger than the Louisiana Purchase. Then, Alaska would become part of the contiguous United States. Do you know what the word contiguous means? It means connected. Right now, you cannot get to Alaska unless you go through Canada. But if Canada becomes part of the United States, guess what? I can drive from Florida all the way to Alaska, and I do not leave the United States. Now, that would be pretty fantastic, right? You know, Nova Scotia? Why should Nova Scotia be part of the Canadians? Why can't Billy Bob call Nova Scotia part of America? I want Nova Scotia to be all mine. I want to go to Nova Scotia without a passport. I deserve it. Billy Bob deserves it, and you guys deserve it too. That's right, Big Kev. Let's go. Let's go. I think we should get ourselves a Canada. And then after that, I think Trump should set his eyes on Mexico, because we can close the Mexican border very, very easily if we just make Mexico part of the United States. Wouldn't that be a lot easier? Now, that's pretty fascinating, because I believe if you look at a map, I forget which, let's look at a map really quick. Billy Bob wants to find out it's very narrow. It's very narrow to get from Central America into Mexico. So I'm going to look at a map here. I'm going to look at a map, and we're going to share the map here with you right here. Going to do a map. We're going to do a map here. We're going to zoom out from Miami Beach, move over from Havana, Cuba, and then, yeah, it's Guatemala. Now, look at that. Look at that. Look at that right there. It's very narrow. And I tell you, if the United States takes Canada and also we get Mexico, look at that. Very easy to control the border. Now, look at the Mexican border, though. with the United States. I'm going to show you that too. Look at that thing. That's a very, very big border. That's a very big border. So I kind of like where Donald Trump is going with this. We'll welcome Canada as the 51st state because Trudeau cannot handle 25% tariffs. Then we set our sights on Mexico. We'll take over Mexico, not through brute force, through negotiation and mutual beneficial relationship. And then guess what? It's very easy for us to police our southern border because it's very narrow coming from Guatemala. Let me see. We got some questions here. Vay says, take him back. We don't need him anymore. You know, that is true. That is true. I don't know. I mean, apparently no one wants Trudeau. Canadians are glad when he's down here. But when he's down here, we want him to go back. What are we supposed to do? I think it's very clear. We got to make Trudeau American. If we make Trudeau American, maybe that'll solve all the problems. What the heck is President of Mexico, Ramstein? What's her name, Ramstein? What's the current president of Mexico? Oh, Claudia Sheinbaum. So it's not Ramstein. Ramstein's apparently a band in Germany, but I think I'll call her Claudia Ramstein because she's got a German last name, Scheinbaum. She's a Scheinbaum. So I'm going to call her Claudia Ramstein. I'll tell you, Big Kev, Jamie, wow, we've got 3 members here in the live stream. All of them who have been members for more than 2 months of the channel. We got Jamie with a big number 2. We got Big Kev with a big number 2. And we got V with a big number 2. And for those of you who don't know, membership is the people who have been supporting the channel monthly. $3.99 is the minimum. That's why I told you up here when I looked at the super board, that's why we're starting off at $50 for the month. That's because of Big Kev, V, and Jamie. Because I can count on it. If any of you guys want to support Billy Bob and the channel, you can go to youtube.com/Monroe Mann/join. That's MONROEMANN/join. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 4,450 subscribers, which is great. And by the way, we need one more person to double tap the screen and we get 10 likes, which is the bronze medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. Bronze medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. So double tap that screen. You could be number 10. You can be number 10. And by the way, if you become number 10, you'll be very special. You'll be part of the Billy Bob Very Much Appreciation Society. Very Much Appreciation Society. Well, thank you very, very. Oh, you telling me Ramstein has a great live show? Is that true? Well, that's very interesting. Hard pass on making Trudeau American, says Jamie. You know, everyone's got an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. V's been to their show. Oh, well, how do you like them apples? Nobody wants Trudeau, not even his wife. Oh, by the way, guys, tomorrow at 6 p.m., Eastern Time, there's a channel, Cleartrek, Cleartrek. That's that guy V's other channel. He's going to do a live stream. He's been putting a lot of effort into this. So if you're free, you can go check it out at 6 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., come back to the Monroe Mann channel because Monroe is going to be interviewing a very funny Lithuanian guy. And I really think you guys should come check that out. So set your calendar for 6 p.m. tomorrow for Cleartrek, 8 p.m. Eastern for Monroe interviewing his Lithuanian buddy, and he's a character. You're going to be very, very happy when you may meet this guy. And let's say, du hast mich. You speaking a little German there? Is that a little Rammstein song? Du hast mich. Du hast. For those of you who don't know, du hast means you have in German. Du hast America means you have America. Let's see. Oh, you're very welcome, V. Jamie's been stuck in my house, and neither one of you been live streaming. Yeah, but Monroe was feeling a little under the weather, and took him a little effort to get on the horse again in December. But now that we got it going, it took some time to erase the superboard up there and clear that off, because you got to clear that at the end of every month. You guys think live streaming is anything. Monroe Mann, he had to take that thing off the wall and then erase all of the super chatters from November, retally all the numbers. I mean, do you think that just happened by itself? It's a lot of stress, and I can understand. Monroe Mann was under a lot of stress. But this afternoon I said, hey, Monroe, let's do it. And Monroe was going, I don't want to do live streaming anymore. And then I got in touch with V. He's a friend of mine. He's on this live stream. I said, V, you got to send a text or something. Send an email to Monroe and kind of give him a little bit of motivation. And, V sent a little message and said hello. And, once again, Billy Bob saved the day. He's one heck of a good diplomat, let me tell you. Because Monroe finally got off his butt. He cleaned off that superboard. And then, he set up. He said, Billy Bob, you have the green light. You can do the first live stream of December. And I said, hot diggity dog. I got to tell you, I'm in a mood to sing right now. I'm going to sing for you. You guys know my song. Country road, take me home to the place that I love. Louisiana, Gator mama, take me home. Bayou Road. So there we go. We're back. And there's that song that Monroe Mann released called Momentum. And it's true. You got to sometimes momentum, inertia. We got inertia and we got momentum. I'm going to give you a little bit of a science lesson here. Science with Billy Bob. Inertia. It's like right here. Let me show you this. See the phone right here? It's not moving, right? That's because of inertia. And if I push it with just a little effort, it doesn't move. That's also inertia. But if I push a little harder, we're going to overcome inertia and it's going to start to move. And once it starts to move, it's easy to keep it going. Look at that. Now it wants to. It almost wants to fall off there. So that's what inertia is. And sometimes in life, we get stuck. And it's tough to get moving again. And you need something else right here. You need something else to kind of push you. You got to get over the inertia. And that's life, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been through it. And we just kind of feel like, I don't want to move. I want to be lazy. I don't want it. And Monroe was going, Billy Bob, I don't want to do any more live streaming. I don't want to do any live streaming. It's stressful. I don't want to ask for super chats anymore. And I said, hey, Monroe, you shut up. You get a grip of yourself. And that guy Monroe Mann was crying in the corner. I said, Monroe, you need to get up. You need to overcome that inertia, and you need to start moving again. And you need to just get started. And he said, I can't do it. Monroe, can you do it for me? And I said, all right, look, I'll do the first live stream of the month, and I will overcome that inertia, and then we'll get some momentum going, and then maybe Monroe will have the strength to keep going. And I tell you, it worked. It worked 100% because now we got the momentum for the month. I mean, look at this. This one live stream today, we got Jamie with $4.99. We have Mr. Pickley, a brand new fan, for $19.99. We're at $24.99 right now. Thanks to Jamie and Mr. Pickley. They overcame that. Monroe gave me permission to overcome the inertia. Then Billy Bob decides he's going to do a live stream. He's increasing the momentum. Now, Jamie and Mr. Pickley picked it up even more. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm feeling really good. Monroe, how are you feeling over there? I'm feeling a lot better. I got to be honest. Thanks, Billy Bob. Hey, no problem, man. Because Billy Bob is there for Monroe. Billy Bob's there for Monroe. Billy Bob is there for you guys. But most importantly, as of course, I'm here for America. I saw an article recently talking about the corruption in the FBI. That's the American Federal Bureau of Investigation. And there's an ex-FBI agent said the reason why I left is because there's such a terrible culture in there that everything is about needs of the Bureau. It's about needs of the Bureau. And they would always say that. Why do I need to do this? Because it's the needs of the Bureau. Needs of the Bureau. And she said, I'm glad Kash Patel has been nominated as the new FBI director because he's going to change it to what it should be, needs of the American people. Needs of the American people. Because the American people are the ones who are paying the salaries of all of those FBI agents. Those FBI agents, they work for America. They work for Billy Bob. Billy Bob is the head of all the FBI. And Billy Bob says, we need to have some change there. Like, we got some questions. Oh, look at that. We got a lot of comments in there. Billy Bob has been derelict in his duty. Let me check here. And let's see. Duhas translates you hate. Duhas means you hate me. Oh, that's very interesting. But that's interesting. Du hast is actually you have. Like hast du Zeit. I know that means do you have time. Hast du Zeit? Hast du in America? Let's say, are you okay? I've been missing the Monroe show. Well, thank you, Vay. I appreciate that, but what about missing the Billy Bob show? Why does everyone talk about Monroe when it's Billy Bob talking? Can't you say, I've been missing Billy Bob? Maybe I will take it back and I will not suggest that people go watch your live stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Clear Trek channel. I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to tell them not to go, and I have power. I have power. I control all of the YouTube algorithm. I am the algorithm king. Not only am I a Gator wrangler, I'm a YouTube algorithm wrangler. Now, I never told you guys that before. But Billy Bob knows how to wrangle algorithms. And I tell you, those are pesky little creatures. You grab them, they slip all around, they jump around this and that, but you just got to jump in, you grab that algorithm by the hand, and you go, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do, algorithm. And tell you, if you treat them firmly, those algorithms, they do exactly what you want. And look at that. Now I got 24 people in here. As soon as I started talking firmly to the algorithm, we went from 18 people to 24 people watching. And I tell you that, it's not rocket science, guys. It's just simple algorithm wrangling. Maybe Billy Bob is going to write a book, The Art of YouTube Algorithm Wrangling by Billy Bob. Oh, by the way, we got 10 likes now, which means we got the bronze medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. So we can all celebrate in that. I appreciate that. Appreciate help us getting there. When we get to 15 likes, we will have a silver medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. Big Kev says, lovely. Oh, no, that's Jamie that says lovely. Big Kev says, let's go. Is that let's go or let's goo? What the heck does let's go mean, Big Kev? Let's go. V says, I really need to get my beauty sleep tonight. I can't stay too long. Oh, by the way, Big Kev, you got gifted one of these memberships because you let the membership slide, and then I did a little gifting, and you ended up getting one of those memberships. At the end of the month, Big Kev, I hope you'll continue to support. Because you know those gifted memberships shouldn't be going to you. They should be going to other people. You're a silly man, Big Kev, silly man. Oh, V needs to get beauty sleep tonight. Oh, that's right, Billy, because V wants to look all beautiful and sexy for a live stream tomorrow. Well, I understand. You go do what you need to do, V. Jamie says, I tried to go back to work today for the first time, overdid it, now I'm hurting too bad to sleep. Oh, working is not good for the health, guys. Working is not good for the health. I did read something today, though, which was very interesting. That everyone thinks that the French don't work at all. Apparently, the average work week in France is 31 hours. The average work week in the United States, 34 hours. So it's not that much different. But the big difference is the French, I think, get like 6 weeks of vacation per year. That's one thing I don't like about America. You only get 2 weeks of paid vacation. What the heck is going on? Do we live? Do we work? Do we live to work for our employers? I don't think so. That's not what America's all about. I think every employer should require only 30-hour work weeks and 6 weeks paid vacation every single year. When Billy Bob has a big company of his own, that's what's going to be. Everybody gets 6 figures, 100,000 a year, 30 hours per week, 6 weeks paid vacation per year. That's the way it's done. And that's not, people would say that's anti-American. No, that's pro-people. It's pro-people. Billy Bob's very pro-people. Why should we spend all of our time working to make somebody else rich? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. All you guys should be fighting really hard to find a job that pays you 6 figures, 6 weeks paid vacation per year, 30 hours maximum work per week. Now, I just got a like for that. That's right. By the way, I'm running for famous. My name is Billy Bob, and my mission is to become famous by July of 2025. So anytime, if you become a member, youtube.com/Monroe Mann/join, or you do a super chat or a super thanks or a like or a subscribe or any of that, or you watch some of the advertisements, you guys are all part of Team America, Team Billy Bob, and I thank you very, very, very much. How you doing, Paul Abyss? Eventually, God will understand that His creation is an abomination. Well, I think God already knows that His creation's an abomination. That's right. I mean, He made us in His image, but He also gave us free will, and we chose the apple. We chose that apple, and that's when everything started to turn sour. But God so loved His children that He gave His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, was crucified and resurrected to save us, His abomination. So, Paul, I think God already knows we're a big abomination, but He still loves us. It's like most parents. Most parents think their kids are quite the abomination. I was talking to a friend the other day, and that little 3-year-old on Zoom, that little 3-year-old was just crying like crazy, just going absolutely crazy. Bonkers. I mean, that thing was a little abomination. But a mother still loves her. And Billy Bob still loves her, even though she's driving her mother absolutely crazy. And the truth is, Paul, you were probably an abomination to your parents too when you were younger. But your parents decided to keep you and said, I'm going to keep raising Mr. Paul and try to make Paul a good member of society. The question is, Paul, are you a good member of society, or are you eponymous with your name? It says abyss. Did you take your life into the abyss? That's what I'd like to know. Jamie says, I'm not a good sick person. Makes me mad. Yeah, I don't like being sick either, Jamie. Billy Bob, no. I tell you this, I have not been sick recently, and I tell you it's because I've been doing this here. I've been having 1 Flintstones per day, plus immunity support, and 1 multi-omega-3 for her. Because I tell you this, multivitamins for women are more powerful, and they help build strong bodies. Billy Bob doesn't want a vitamin for a man. I want one fit for a woman. As they say, remember that old advertisement from the 1980s for the underarm deodorant? Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman, something like that. And you guys remember what that ad is? Maybe you remember, Jamie. You're old enough to remember. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman, like Lady Speed Stick or something like that. But yeah, I hope V gets a good night of beauty's rest. I hope Jamie gets a good night of a healthy rest. And thank you. We got Jamie. We got Big Kev. V says, you know who America needs? Billy Bob and Gators. You know, I completely agree. America did not have enough Gators. That's first and foremost. And I'm glad that Trump won because I told you, I spoke with him before because you guys know I represent the American Gator Union. And I said, Donald Trump, Gators need the right to vote. Gators need the right to vote. And I don't understand why do women have the right to vote. You know, black people have the right to vote. Hispanics have the right to vote. Apparently, illegal immigrants have the right to vote in many states too. So illegal immigrants can vote, but Gators cannot? Like, where's the logic in that? That's an absolute travesty. It's a travesty. Well, how you doing, Clover Connor? Clover Connor says, wave to the chat. Very nice. Paul says, even God makes mistakes like the human race. That's like a little rhyme there. Even God makes mistakes like the human race. But I gotta say, I think he needs to save face because humans ain't so bad. They just made some mistakes. And God is around. He's going to win the race. That's why Clover's here. Angels are the peak humans are a mistake. Boy, Paul thinks everything's a mistake. You're about, Paul, are you a mistake? Is Billy Bob a mistake? Is America a mistake? I don't think so. God doesn't make mistakes, says Jamie. You tell him. You tell him, Jamie. That's my brother's name, so I'll give you a pass. My God is a fallacy. No, my God isn't a fallacy. Your analysis is a fallacy. You have a faulty analysis over there, Paul. Jamie says, my God is an awesome God. They even wrote a song about it. Oh, Paul says he created humans that are flawed. He created beings that kill and commit acts of evil. Paul, you don't understand that if we didn't have free will, then we would all be God. That's the whole situation. I'm telling you that right now. Oh, thank you. So go with a flow, man. Says this dude's a moron. You calling me a moron? You calling me a moron, or you calling Paul a moron? Billy Bob doesn't have morons in his live stream, so I'm not sure who you're talking about because everyone's intelligent and awesome on Billy Bob live stream. Oh, Clover, you look good. Oh, you look good. You look like a snack. Oh, Clover says you look good. You telling me I look like a snack? You telling me I look like a snack? No one's ever told me that I look like a snack. That means I'm sweet, I'm salty, maybe a little bit sour, just enough to tide you over till the next rest stop, but not enough to make your stomach feel upset. You know, I appreciate it. That's a very nice compliment. Billy Bob looks like a snack. Have you ever been called a snack before? Billy Bob kind of likes it. Billy Bob, he's a snack. Let's see, communism. Clover's hitting on Billy. Oh, well, look at that. We got a good cat in the house. It's all right. Mr. Good Cat, you're welcome to hit on me too. Go ahead. Give me your best. Tell me what snack I remind you of. Do I remind you of a Kit Kat, perhaps? Good Cat? Maybe a Snickers? Maybe a Milky Way? Maybe I remind you of a Good and Plenty? I think I'm a Good and Plenty. Billy Bob is a Good and Plenty. I gotta wonder, like, who the heck are these 22 people who are watching? Billy Bob's got a lot of people here just randomly watching silently. They don't want to speak up. They don't want to disclose to the world that they're a Billy Bob fan. I know I'm your guilty pleasure. So maybe the snack, maybe I'm a chocolate bar because I'm your guilty pleasure of those 20 people. And why do I only have 11 likes? 20 people. Come on, let's get to 15. Let's get 4 more likes, lickety split. You guys make that happen. So we get to the silver medal on the YouTube live stream, Olympics. Hey, Jana, how are you? Why are you up so late? Paul, Paul finally says, I'm good, buddy. Well, good, Paul. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Great to know that you're good. I never agreed with the creation of humans to begin with. Paul, that's the enigma, right? And that's the big issue. It's like kids, none of us asked to be born. Billy Bob did not ask to be born. And it all makes you wonder, like Jamie, why did you have kids? Good cat, why did you have kids? Because they didn't have any decision whether they were going to be born. Monroe Mann today, he dissected a fetal pig today in biology class, and he found that it was very weird. Found the liver, found the kidneys, found the urinary tract, found the heart, found the lungs. It was quite an adventure, I got to tell you that. Let's see. That's right, Paul. If that includes me, so be it. Tyler Elliott, Billy Bob Neck. Billy Bob Neck? Doesn't make sense. No, my name's just Billy Bob. Just Billy Bob. Some people think it's just one word, Billy Bob. Some people think Billy is my first name, Bob is my last name. Maybe I'm Mr. Bob. I ain't going to say. I ain't going to tell you. I ain't going to tell you. Going to remain a mystery. What's up, Big Crab? Good day, brother. Love from Australia. I give you my best Australian accent. Good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie for you. Paul says, as far as you know, God doesn't make mistakes. That's true, Paul. That's true. God don't make mistakes. Paul says, what makes you think you or me know the nature of God? I don't call anyone a moron just because we disagree. You're right, Paul. That is right. That is right, Paul. You said it. Paul said it very well. He said it straight to the point right there. Jamie, I hope you're feeling better. I'm going to give you a little blessing here. I bless Jamie. I bless Jamie. She's going to feel better. She's going to feel better. Jamie. How do you feel now? Did I make you feel a little bit better now, Jamie? Jamie says, I read the Bible, Paul. That's how I know. Good Cat says, I'm doing fine just putting in job applications. You know, Good Cat, everybody's putting in job applications. It's a tough economy right now. Now, did you decide to quit your other job and you're looking for a new one? What happened? Were you laid off? Did you quit? You know, Monroe Mann's putting in job applications too because savings are going down. You got to do something. He took out some ads in New York for legal, to get new legal clients, but he's also looking at jobs because, hey, man cannot live on stale bread alone. You can't eat just stale bread, ladies and gentlemen, especially if it gets moldy. Moldy bread is not good to eat. Let's see. Paul, go ahead and disprove. Oh, I like that. They're very good. Jamie, go ahead and prove the reality of the Bible, says Paul. Mr. Good Cat coming back with an uppercut. Paul, you go ahead and disprove it. Hot diggity dog. Can't imagine life without God. That's true. V back at you. I got to tell you, there's that book. Remind me. I'm going to go get that here because I'm going to read you a little bit of something from it, Paul. Because I think you should really get that book here. It's called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. And it's very, very interesting. I got to tell you. And let me tell you this. Right at the end. So you do believe in God. So then what's the issue then, Paul? If you believe in God, what's your damage? What's your damage, little man? Why am I still at 11 likes? I don't understand. People take advantage of Billy Bob. They take advantage of Billy Bob, but they don't support the channel with a like. Well, that's very un-American. That's very un-American. But anyway, I will read this anyway because it's very interesting. And he has this very interesting conversation at the back. It says, if God, why evil? I mean, in Appendix 1. And it says, if there really is an all-good, all-powerful theistic God, then why does he allow evil? And then the Christian says, how do you know what evil is unless you know what good is? And how do you know what good is unless there's an objective standard of good beyond yourself? And then the atheist says, don't try to avoid the question. Christian says, I'm not trying to avoid the question. I'm simply showing you that your complaint presupposes that God exists. In fact, the existence of evil doesn't disprove God. It may prove that there is a devil, but it doesn't prove that there's no God. And I found it's very, very interesting. I mean, I can't go through the whole thing because it's about 10 pages. But then there's another appendix, another conversation. I haven't read this one yet. Isn't that just your interpretation? And I find it just very, very interesting because it does remind me again, and it goes back to C.S. Lewis, A Mere Christianity, which is another good book. The mere fact that people know that there's something called good and evil means that there's a God. Because without one higher authority on which the idea of good is based, how are you basing it? If there's no good and evil, then murder is just somebody's opinion. Think about that. If there is no God, then murdering someone, there's nothing wrong with it, precisely because there's no value then in human life. That's it. Stealing. If there is no God, then there's no sense of ownership. Because that means you can steal my phone and I cannot get mad at you, because why am I forcing you to abide by my fake idea of morality? And so Billy Bob did not have all the answers, but he does know that there is a God, because otherwise there's no good and evil. It does not exist. There's no way to prove good and evil without appealing to God. Let's look at some comments here. Paul says, look at what I said. I don't believe in the human assumption of God's will. Well, what the heck does that mean? And say, I looked and answered, I don't believe in the human assumption of God that good and evil exists, but the definition varies. I don't think so. I mean, good is good. I mean, and evil is evil. If you just flat out kill somebody for no reason, that's not good. In any way, that's not good. That's evil. And if you give someone who's hungry some food, that's generally good. But why do we know that? Because there's a higher authority of what is good that we're basing it on. Clover says, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Paul, if you are in God and you judge people, you are a sinner. I agree with that. I agree with that. None of us have the right to judge others based on God's moral authority. I agree with you there. As Jesus said, let he without guilt throw the first stone. Am I right? I'm right. Paul says, I'm saying the judgment of another person is evil, sins, God, blah, blah, blah. Clovers, I'm very rich. I have kingdoms in my Father's kingdom of heaven. I don't think anyone here is judging you. Oh, people judge. Well, it's impossible to judge Billy Bob. Billy Bob is the epitome of perfection. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Could things get any more perfect than what you see right here, ladies and gentlemen? Don't want to brag, but I will. Well, let me go back. So what was the other topic I was going to talk about today? Let's see. It was Trudeau in Canada. It was Israel and the hostages. Oh, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden. Well, look at that. Lying Joe Biden, just lying once again for an entire year, saying, I will not pardon my son. I will not pardon my son. And then look what he does. He pardons his son. The only good thing about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden is Donald Trump has zero qualms now about pardoning every January 6th conviction. All of those people on January 20th, they are out of prison, and their records will be cleansed. It's going to be a full pardon, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, January 20th is going to be a good day. So many wonderful things are going to happen on January 20th. Border wall is going to be started to be constructed again. Hostages going to get released from Hamas. We're going to see all of the January 6th people get released from prison. We're going to see the economy and stock market are going to start to soar. Oh, man, it's going to be a good day to be American. I'm so proud to be American every day, but on January 20th, I'm going to be super proud. Super proud. Yeah, he was judged and pardoned, Jamie. But you know what? You know what's fascinating, Jamie? When you think about it, talking about what you just said and what Paul's talking about, humans too are judged, and God is basically President Biden. So we're convicted of being sinners, right? None of us is perfect. Every one of us makes mistakes, but the president of the world, which is God, is going to say, "I'm going to pardon you anyway, because you believe in Jesus Christ, you believe in me, and you're apologizing for your sins." That's right. Billy Bob's going straight to heaven. I'm on the highway to heaven. That's right, Jamie. Billy Bob is on the highway to heaven. And I tell you this, there is no toll. I got an easy pass. I got an easy pass or a sun pass or whatever the heck. Jamie, you have easy pass in Ohio? And V, what do you guys use when you guys are driving around? Do you have something like easy pass? Easy pass is like this thing that you put on your windshield, and it basically deducts your debit card every time you go through a toll. Oh, Clover wants to go to heaven too. Well, I'll tell you this, Clover. I'll save a seat at the dinner table up there for you. We're gonna have a nice big turkey dinner with some mashed potatoes, some gravy. Oh man, some cranberry sauce. Oh, I wish we could have Thanksgiving dinner once a month. For any of you guys who are not American, you don't understand how delicious a turkey dinner is with mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce. Oh, yummity, yummity. Oh, I'm salivating. There's this delicious sandwich up in New York City, or I guess it's anywhere they have the sandwich, so pret à manger. But they have this delicious turkey sandwich. It makes me really want to go up. Maybe they'll have it over Christmas time, because it's usually only Thanksgiving. But I'm really hungry. I want that pret à manger. I really want a pret à manger turkey cranberry sandwich. It was yummy. Let's see. Paul says, be a good person and going to heaven is assured. That's not true, because it's impossible for humans to be good. We're a bunch of sinners. Not one of us is perfect. There is no saint. Even saints are not saints. They all make mistakes. And that's the fallacy, is that good works are going to get you to heaven. Good works aren't going to get you to heaven. It's the grace of God that's going to get you to heaven. What's up, Major? How you doing? Clover says the road to heaven is narrow. That is true. That is true. But guess what? We got the easy pass, Clover. You and me got the easy pass. We're driving straight through that toll booth. We're going straight to heaven and grab a turkey dinner. You and me, Clover. V, for toll roads, there are very few toll roads in Canada. Might be some in Ontario, but very few. Oh, no kidding. Maybe that's why the 25% tariffs are going to cause so much problem to Canada, because you don't have any toll roads. How can you not have any toll roads? Paul says being good is not the same thing as being perfect. Yeah, but Paul, just being good is not going to get you to heaven, because no one's good. We're all sinners in God's eyes. That's right, Clover. Yay, we're going to heaven. We're going straight to heaven, my friend. Billy Bob, you got it on good authority here. Billy Bob has a one-to-one with God every night. And he told me yesterday, I said, I got to ask you, I got one of my YouTube fans named Clover. Does she got a chance? And I'll tell you this is what God told me. This one told me, Clover. Goes, Clover's got a seat with you on the right hand of me, God, for a turkey dinner in heaven. So, Clover, I will see you there. And Paul, of course, no one is good. There's no one who is good. In the eyes of God, God is perfection. So not one of us meets the standard. No, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, Paul, that God died for our sins. Christianity believes that Jesus died for our sins. So that's right. We can try to be good. We can try to live a life like Christ and try to emulate the Christian path, but everybody falls short. And I think anytime someone starts to think, I'm a good person, that That's hubris. That's our ego getting in the way. That's the devil convincing us that we are somehow deserving of heaven, but we're not. We get to heaven because God says, I love you anyway. Just like a parent. Most of these kids are very, very annoying. They're crying. They're doing temper tantrums. And the kid says, and the parent says, you're a bad, bad boy, but I'm still going to feed you dinner because I love you. Because I love you. No, Paul. As a Christian, no matter how nice or good things you do, you are still destined for hell unless you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. That's the difference. Paul, nobody's good. No one's good. Sometimes, again, anybody that you see who you think, but that person's good, I guarantee that person gets angry maybe behind closed doors. Or maybe yells at somebody behind closed doors. Yeah, I know, Jamie. I know, but it's an interesting conversation. So let me just move on. Let me just see if I covered all my topics for today. Gators, check. America, check. What else? We talked about Justin Trudeau in Canada. We talked about Donald Trump and getting those hostages released before January 20th. I think that's going to happen. And let's say, and we talked about Hunter Biden. I was talking about that. Hunter Biden was just biding his time until Daddy rescued him. I was talking with somebody the other day. Maybe they should change the law in America that the president can pardon anybody for federal crimes except relatives. But then that might encourage the opposing side to maliciously prosecute, knowing that if convicted, there is no way for the president daddy to pardon that child. But it is kind of weird. It is kind of weird that Hunter Biden was convicted by two federal courts, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast, two separate crimes, and the Biden family is complaining that it was malicious prosecution. No, you were a drug addict. You illegally bought guns while you were on drugs, and it's not like crimes were fabricated like against Donald Trump. You actually you were a drug addict and you did improper things. So it's very, very, and I would be saying the exact same thing if it were, let's say it were one of Donald Trump's kids who was a drug addict and then bought a gun and stuff. Dude, you got to face the crime. You do the crime, you got to do the time. And I just think maybe he should have gotten a reduced sentence or something like that. But to commute all of his crimes for the last 10 years because daddy's president, my daddy's the president. I mean, honestly, if I were Hunter Biden, I'd be pretty ashamed of myself. That not only did I commit crimes and I slapped America's legal system in the face, but on top of it, I got out of jail free card because of daddy. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Anyway, I'm going to sign off in a moment here, and I'll leave you with just some general advice. Guys, don't do drugs. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. And you may end up in prison. And I can all but guarantee that you're probably not going to have a daddy or a mommy who's president who can pardon you. I'm just letting you know right now. So, and Monroe and I have been playing a lot of chess recently too, and I'm learning lots of lessons from chess. Think through the consequences of your actions, because you make a quick decision. Sometimes that quick decision loses the game immediately. If you had waited 2 seconds or 5 seconds and said, wait, let me just see, is there another option for me to do? Is there something else that I can do that will give me a better outcome? And I'm starting to realize I got to apply that to life. We all got to apply that to life. Don't rush to move that queen. Don't rush to take the bishop. Don't rush to move the pawn. Wait and say, are there other permutations? Are there other combinations of moves that may help me move forward? Oh, we see logic, Paul. I think it's 24 people with logic against one. You're being the illogical one here. You're the one caught in the abyss. But I want you all to really just think twice before you make your next move. Because you could probably afford, people say, no, you need to make decisions in a split second. Make it 2 split seconds. Give yourself 2 split seconds to make that decision. Because it might save you from certain ruin. Might save you from certain ruin. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, good night, V. Good night, Paul. Hope you find the logic there. Good night, Jamie. Good night, Clover. Oh, Flora, how you doing? I didn't see you. In that sea of spam by Paul, I didn't see that Flora Bootner came into the chat. How you doing? Good morning. Great to have you here, Flora. My name's not Monroe, though. My name is Billy Bob. My name is Billy Bob, and I hope you'll subscribe. Hope you'll like. Hope you guys will come back to, like I said, check out the Clear Check channel tomorrow, 6 p.m. And 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you come back to this channel. Monroe's going to be interviewing a very funny Lithuanian guy. We're going to have a good, funny hour of conversation. And thank you guys for joining me. Good night, Clover. And, well, you're on the, when I see people posting 4 messages, one after the other, you automatically become a spammer regardless of what you say. But we're still grateful that you're here, and we're still happy that you're here. And I want to thank both Jamie and Mr. Pickley for kicking off the month with $24.98 of super chats. That's really getting us close. We made $447 last year. 447, not last year, last month. So really hoping, we're going to try to see if we can get to the $450 mark this month. 450, and maybe, I'll just show you this. We got goal 1, 200, then 350, 450, hoping we can get to 450. But it would be pretty amazing if we can get to 550, because that'll give us a new top score, because we're at 520. So keep an eye on it. We're going to have a fun adventure this month and see if we get there. Good night to everybody. I'm glad you all came together on this lovely evening. Paul, thank you so much for the compliments. I'm trying. I got to tell you, though, Paul, he says, happy you make money doing what you love. Sometimes it's very tough. It's not as easy as people think to do it. I mean, it is fun, but it took 3 days for Monroe and May and all of us to get our ducks in a row and to get back to doing the live streams this month, because we were feeling a little bit demotivated. But I will say, now that I'm back on the horse here, I'm trotting along, and we're going to start galloping. We're going to be making things happen. This is going to be a very, very successful month. We're going to finish 2024 strong. We are going to get beyond $450 this month. Paul, you have inspired me. You have inspired me. Hallelujah. We're going to get beyond $450. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. Good night, good cat. Good night, Billy Bob. Good night, Big Kev. Big Kev says, let's go. Good night, Paul Abyss. Good night, Jamie. Good night, Clover. Good night. Who else? Who else we got on here? Where's that? Oh, yeah, Flora Bootner. Good night to Flora. Yeah. Good night to absolutely all of you guys. Thank you very much, and catch you next time. My name is Billy Bob. You heard it first on the Billy Bob live stream. Hot diggity dog.